here. Welcome to another episode on Love and Waves. I wanted to just have a nice normal chat, not so out there into the quantum realm. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the context of why I've been sharing some of the things that I've been sharing, and maybe even just a few little tips or some ideas to just kind of ground this a little bit and kind of bring this idea of ascension or moving into these higher levels, higher aspects of ourselves, higher, more multidimensionality, more into our soul. Why does this matter right now? Why is this important? And obviously, like I've said in the last, I don't know, couple videos, there's a lot of things that are happening globally, that are happening cosmically, that are happening within us as we are collectively all moving into, in this realm of growth and more light, which then casts out all shadows. And we have to alchemize those shadows and distortions in order to continue to become lighter, to oscillate higher, to move up in our frequencies and have a more joyous life. And this has really been the drum that I've been beating for a long time. And I'll continue to, because I really want to help you to get to those levels. And so, as I've mentioned in the past, the work that I do that I'm more than happy and would love to be able to help you with is in clearing some of the distortions of the lower three centers, right? The lower three chakras where we store most of it. Of course, it's all over. But distorted ways of seeing things, belief systems, all kinds of different trapped emotions and things. I've mentioned it before. So if there's a way that I can help you, please make sure you check at, down below or on my site and see if there's a fit there, or if you want to take 15 minutes and chat about it. But what I really wanted to share today, I've said this before. I have another video called What You Seek is Seeking You. And it really is the truth. As you are being pulled into these higher levels and these desires, what we tend to be looking for, we're looking outside of ourselves for. We look for our wholeness in accomplishments, in the work that we do, certainly in other people and in relationships. And what's happening is, with all of the distorted ways of seeing things, the unprocessed emotions and traumas, and all of these things coming up, is it's getting reflected and pushed out onto people, and lots of projections, and relationships are crumbling because of it. The pressure is just not able to keep these relationships from being toxic, really becoming toxic. And so what happens is we see more and more channels even that are talking about dismissive avoidance and these anxious attached and all these different attachment styles, and it's really our coping mechanisms, our ways of trying to deal with what we haven't been able to process is to try to control all kinds of situations, to hang on to something or to move away from something. It's all attraction and aversion, right? That's all separation consciousness. And it shows up in relationships the most acutely. So we look for somebody to help us feel complete because we feel separate. And then we try to either hang on to them or push them away when we're feeling dysregulated. And it just becomes this whole big mess. And so I'm just wanting to open your eyes a little bit here today and have you recognize that what you seek is seeking you means that when somebody does come into your life, or whatever it is you're looking outside of yourself for, we need to look at it, all of it, as a mirror, as a way of an opportunity to look within, see what's coming up. If you're feeling discomfort, if you're feeling a closure in the heart or in anywhere in the body, if you're feeling triggered, if you're feeling like you're having a physical response to that's negative, then it means it's something to process. It's coming up, it's come to you in order to process, to get through, so that you can let it go, create more space for more embodiment of the higher aspects of you, the true way of seeing things and the true way of being, and more of your the codes that you need, if you will, to bring your whole consciousness up. Because we're rebuilding our DNA. The Entron DNA is really the DNA that is, they call it junk DNA. It's what all the processing is happening through. It's not necessarily coded for protein to make proteins, but it's absolutely there to house consciousness, and to really, it's all those higher levels of consciousness that come online when we start to heal this and we release these denser, destructive energies and move up into these higher realms. And that changes our whole experience. It changes the way we see the world. It changes our perspective on pretty much everything. And therefore, we're able to attract more of what we're looking for, because we have more grace, we have more joy and abundance in the way that we expect things to be, just because you can't not be that way as you move up that scale of consciousness. The higher your consciousness, the higher the oscillation, the more power that you have to overwrite distortion. And you literally start to live in a whole new reality. So as things are coming to you, relationships are challenging you, all of these things, take a minute when you feel that closure. Allow yourself to feel through those feelings without judgment. Just watching them, just you can narrate them. You can say, look at this, it feels like that. It's got this color. It's just wanting to move through me. I'm so grateful for this opportunity to just sit with this feeling and let it pass through. Whatever it is you need to tell yourself, just don't go to the mind. Don't start to tell the story about it. Don't justify it, grab hold of it, or try to push it away and blame it on other people. None of that. No story. Nothing about the past, nothing about the future. And just be with it. Be with it. And create that space. And of course, if this is coming up in a relationship or a relating experience with somebody, take a pause, take a break. Bring yourself back to center. Let yourself feel the feelings. And how can I see this differently? And once you've kind of released the energetic, the emotional aspect of it, then you can, of course, use the mental body at this point, and you can use the mind. And you drop in into the heart, take some breaths through to the heart, bring the situation there after the charge has been discharged. And then you can ask, how does love see this? Is there another way that I can see this that would be constructive, that would be more true, that would feel more expansive? Is there something that I'm missing that in their perspective that I can take on, right? That I can understand? Even if I don't agree, can I be okay to not agree? Can I see that this is possible from their perspective? Because everybody's going to have their own perspective based on their entire lives, their past lives, their ancestry, their culture, their experiences in every way, their other relationships. Everyone's perspective is valid for them. And it's just another aspect or aperture of God. As I always say, it's another soul stream having an experience as part of the whole. And when you really can see that and you can depersonalize, it's not happening at you, it's happening for you. It's being triggered because it's an aspect that there's something you can gain from that. There's a code that you can gain from that, putting your own DNA and building that back up and rising yourself to these higher levels. And so just really, really take note in your relationships and the people that are around you. And specifically when there's a real polarity between you and that other person, they may be just coming from a much lower level of consciousness. Not that it's better or worse. It's just like grades in school. They could be in third grade and you're in eighth grade. You can't expect that third grader to understand things from the perspective of the eighth grader, but you don't make them wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just that where that aspect of the soul of the all is at right now. So you can't make them wrong, but at the same time, is this, you learn whatever it is you need to learn, but is this the thing that's going to propel you to the next level, or is it time to reach for the next, experience? I say reach for, experience the next experience and be with the next experience. What's uplifting to you and what's dragging you down? Are you clinging on to something that's dragging you down? Or are you allowing yourself to let go and just be with the moment and continue to propel up? Because you're going to float up like a balloon when you let go of resistance and when you stop clinging, right? So it's both clinging and pushing away. It's the attraction and aversion. It's that separation consciousness that's based in trying to control the outcome or trying to seek whatever fulfillment or fullness from outside of you. You're meant to come into your wholeness, into that vertical, beautiful space of total self-love, self-worth, and non-attachment so that you can stand up fully in your fullness, your wholeness, and be so abundant and so loving just naturally because of the lens that you're seeing the world through, from that high oscillation of being a high frequency. And from that stance, you go into interdependence with other people, not codependence, and certainly none of this, really toxic stuff that goes on when people are in highly dysregulated relationships. And so you want to come into your wholeness, no matter what, if you want to label the relationship this or that, you want to call somebody a narcissist or an empath or whatever you want to call things, all the different attachment styles, they're all distortions. They're all dysregulations, ways that we try to get through our past traumas and our past ways of being that are clearly not serving us, but they were survival mechanisms. And so when you see it for what it is, you reach to help yourself to alchemize that through every experience that happens, or you get help, or both. Because that's, again, this is my passion, is to help people to let go of all this stuff so they can rise faster and faster and ride the wave of these solar codes that are coming in right now with the sun, the solar flares. And there's such an opportunity to really, really excel right now and come into that fullness, into that vertical wholeness. And then when you go into a relationship with others who are also in that wholeness, in that fullness, it's like 2 + 2 = 11. It's not, or 1 + 1, I should say, 1 + 1 = 11, instead of, two halves, or barely, just these mismatches, these really, really distorted, difficult, painful relating experiences that don't propel you up, but instead keep you from even trusting relationships at all. Clinging more, pushing away more, all of that stuff. So just something to think about today in your relating experiences, and to just recognize, have grace for yourself. Know that you can alchemize in the moment. You can allow yourself to just receive whatever's coming, that's happening, and as if it's for you, because it is. It's for you. You've created this hologram. You've created this experience for you, and take every advantage of the opportunity to, not of the person or the situation, but take advantage of the opportunity to be with that, to see it in a new way, which lightens the load of something that was traumatic, and then move forward more powerfully with that much more frequency, that much more higher oscillation, and a higher view of things. That's how you graduate through the grades, and that's how you're going to bring yourself to the most glorious, beautiful, aligned, abundant, and such a magnetic, beautiful, way of living. It's just the best, absolutely the best. So I hope this helps you today and really inspires you and keeps you just moving forward, and not allowing the distortions of the world to bring you down, but to see them in a new way as opportunities for you to excel and really, really take the bull by the horns. So what you seek is seeking you. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll see you on the next episode.